Hi ladies, welcome back to another edition of Miss Empowered. I really wanted to share something today with everybody that I'm hoping is actually going to be useful. So one of the questions that I actually get asked the most is, at least in my personal capacity, is how I've been able to get so many international opportunities over the last 10 to 12 years. Maybe even more actually, it might be 10 to 15 years. Basically, apply. There are tons of opportunities for international travel for Africans. There's quite a lot of opportunities for you guys to apply to go overseas, whether it be scholarships, bursaries, traveling opportunities, not necessarily for leisure, but it's an opportunity for you to learn something while also having the opportunity to see the world. So one of the things that one of my best friends and I actually, throughout university, which is where we met, and throughout our younger kind of adult years, we spent an insane amount of time applying for things, applying for opportunities, and we get literally the same question every time: is how do you guys get these things? Like, why are you guys so lucky? It is not so much luck as it is actually putting in the effort of applying, looking for the opportunities, staying up to date with them, applying for these things, and making sure that like you're aligned with whatever you're applying for, i.e. you actually have an interest in that thing, or you're curious about it, or you are able to contribute to it, and then obviously making your case in the application adequately so that you're chosen and get to go on these opportunities. So I'm going to tell you a quick couple of websites that we typically would go to. There's probably a ton of others, but these are kind of my go-to websites that I used to use when I was applying. So all of these are Instagram pages. There is Opportunities Circle. Now for that one, it's like a black background with like a red thingamabob and a person. So Opportunities Circle, that's a lot of like bursaries and scholarships mainly. And then there's one called Scholarships Corner, that's a lot of scholarships mainly. A lot of them are between kind of like your masters, and sometimes they do degrees as well, mostly masters and PhD, but they do degrees as well. And then there's sometimes also opportunities for scholarships for extramural activities, so not necessarily course related, but more like, let's say for example, like in environmental sustainability related, for you to go somewhere and explore how this impacts the world and how like developing countries can play a role in protecting our environment, for example. So Opportunities Circle, and then there's Scholarships Corner, and then there's Opportunities for Africans, which I used to use a lot coming up, that I literally used to stay on this page like all the time, just always refreshing to see what's new. And then there's Opportunity Desk, which is also very similar to Opportunities for Africans, so I used to stay on that as well. And then I just want to see, and then there's Opportunities for Youth, which is another one that I used to, very similar to Opportunities for Africans. So Opportunities for Africans, Opportunities for Youth, Opportunities Circle, Scholarships Corner, Opportunity Desk, and then there's a sixth one, Full Opportunities page, which is like a purple icon with like white something like writing. So Full Opportunities, right? So all of them have something to do with opportunity. That is 6 of the websites or Instagram pages that I suggest you get on. I loved having them as Instagram pages because I was always on Instagram anyway, and if I could just have them there so that anytime there was anything cool, I could identify it as quickly as possible, that is always helpful. So make sure that you are following them, and they post regularly. Literally, when I say they post on a daily basis, you are going to find amazing opportunities on there, and it's literally the widest range. Opportunities for everyone everywhere. Some of them will be specific to certain countries, so they'll say it's an opportunity to go to Switzerland for something specific, but it will say the opportunity is for people from Swaziland and maybe from Nigeria, for example, right? So if you're Nigerian or if you're Swati, then you know that, okay, I can apply for this opportunity. And then some of them will be for like master's studies, PhD studies. There are a few that will do like degrees, like your typical degrees. Like some of them will post also like internships. So if you're in varsity looking for an internship, that's one of the ways. Some of them will even share like shadowing opportunities if you're younger, maybe still in high school, but you're keen on like seeing what the real world actually looks like, works like. There's that as well. And then of course, like I said, there's the opportunity to go and do like extramural activities. And then there's even competitions like the writers competition, the Commonwealth Writers competition every year. Oh my gosh, there's so many. Anything and everything that has to do with the world. Okay, with education, with learning, with contributing, with discussions and forums and, you know, committees and whatever the case may be, these guys are probably the guys that are going to be posting about it. They scour the internet and have all the right relationships to get the information for that. They then create posts on their websites and on their social media to share this information. I think they might also be on Facebook. I don't use Facebook as much, so I obviously don't follow them there, but if you're on Facebook, look for them there as well. I'm sure they post to it, and they basically aggregate all of these opportunities in one place and give you kind of the terms and the conditions. For some of them, you might have to go and dig a little bit deeper, and that's perfectly fine. But this is how you find the opportunities to travel, to see the world, to educate yourself. And besides the traveling piece, it's not just about traveling, but you've got to surround yourself like with communities and networks of people who are truly like-minded. And this is one way that I found I could tap into that. And then there are two bonuses that I did want to mention is I have always been interested in United Nations and the work that they do, and really I was of the question of like how impactful is that work, right? Because we often hear of the UN, and probably is one of, if not the most active and kind of like the main contributor to socioeconomic development all around the world, and probably the one organization that has literally their fingers in every single pot, i.e. in every single country, in every single situation that has to do with the upliftment of humanity. The UN is most likely going to be involved. I've always wondered about them. I follow the UN, I think it's called UN Internships and UN Women. So I follow those two accounts separately. UN Internships will post any UN internships in any country that are available and the deeds for that, so you can apply if you're keen and you're that kind of person. You're like, I'm into NPOs, or I'm just curious, or I just want to volunteer, I want to give back, like whatever the case may be, like make sure you check them out. And then UN Women, because I've always, you know, for the girlies, always. So I'm always interested in how they're going about the upliftment and empowerment of women in different countries and in different communities that are needing that upliftment, so, and the empowerment. So they also another one that I follow. And then the second bonus that I will give you guys, just because this is my what do I call it? I don't know that it would be my alma mater, but I'm an Alan Gray Fellow, and I would, oh my goodness, one day I'll tell the story of how impactful Alan Gray Orbis Foundation has been in my journey. I'll do a separate video on that one of these days, but I do want to make sure that you guys are following Alan Gray Orbis Foundation on Instagram. The reason being that at Alan Gray, it's not just, so the Alan Gray Orbis Foundation actually is how I got through university financially, and even otherwise actually. So they are a fellowship. Okay, I don't want to get this wrong, because if I say scholarship, it's different. It is kind of, there's a scholarship in there, but they are a fellowship, because you get more. It's more than just paying university fees for them. It's about really helping you holistically to become a well-rounded citizen of the country in South Africa. And there's like a much bigger, broader vision around it, and it is centered around entrepreneurship and entrepreneurialism, which is such an important piece for our country and for moving forward as a country, and probably for Africa as a whole. And in fact, we do have like sister arms of Alan Gray in other countries in Africa, which again I'll talk about in a separate video. But we have the Orbis Foundation, which I was lucky to get when I was in high school, which basically helped me get through university. There is an Alan Gray Scholars, which covers the high school piece. So if you're in grade 6, grade 7, or you're a parent with a child in grade 5, grade 6, grade 7, you want to make sure you're following these guys, because they will release all the information about applications and that kind of stuff when the application time comes every year, and then you can apply for your kids, and then they basically are covered all throughout high school. But like I said, it's more than just financial. There is in fact a whole universe that comes with the Alan Gray Fellowship. And then For university, like I said, they'll post that as well. Typically you apply in like grade 11, grade 12. So you want to make sure that you're following them so that when that opens up, you can apply. And basically for university, that's how it goes. And then post-university, once you get through the candidate fellowship, you become a part of the association, which is where I sit currently, where this is now all of us who've graduated outside of the candidate fellowship, which is the Orbis Foundation. And we now are working individuals, entrepreneurs, intrapreneurs, just really cool, amazing, insightful humans. And we have this large community of people that make up our community. And it's such a dope thing. Like anytime I need help with anything for my business, or even just from a career perspective, it's nice to know that I have this community that I not only can work alongside, can support, can gain a lot of knowledge from, or even gain just like contacts, for example. It's also just nice seeing how well everybody is doing, you know, when we celebrate each other's wins in this group. And now we have like this WhatsApp group, and in fact we have had to create multiple ones because there's just too many of us. But I've met some of the smartest people there. I've met some of my closest friends from there, and yeah, it's amazing. And I can go on and on about Alan Gray Orbis Foundation, so make sure you check them out. Alan Gray Orbis Foundation on Instagram. I think they're probably on Facebook as well. They're definitely on LinkedIn. They definitely have a website. Make sure you are on it. And then once you've followed all these people, apply. Apply, 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 apply. And I'm going to post another video with some tips on this piece.